You're grooving to the music on Jamroom. Only on Good Morning Delhi with Sarthak.
And that's a good idea on a Friday. Never say normally. It's disrespectful. It's disrespectful to Parikrama to say anything normally because they've never done things normally. I mean, it's a lot of people. Subir bhai, during COVID, a lot of music was produced in the living rooms or intimate spaces. A lot of music was also consumed in the intimate spaces, and a lot of singer-songwriters have also come out where they're expressing themselves. For lack of a better way of explaining it. Expressing themselves through their music that is very, very individualistic in that way. Parikrama's ethos is actually the community. I mean, have you felt that shift after COVID when you were hitting the stages? Have you seen a bit of a shift in the audiences that you're getting?
Yeah, not really. In terms of that thing, see, if you look at it, like to just elaborate the way we compose, it's very difficult for us to, as a band, to compose the way you just said because. So like for Nitin and Sonam were the main composers of the band, and now we are very happy that Mittal has, fit in very
Abhishek
well.
Mittal, please say hello.
Hello.
And say thank you also.
Thank you.
You are a very nice boy.
I'm very honored.
Youngest of the lot. He'll not get to speak too much. After all, rite of passage, Subir bhai. You can't let anyone just speak in the band.
Absolutely. So but pehle Sonam used to come over at home, and then only when Nitin and Sonam used to sit together, then we used to move forward of an idea that either of them or so Saurabh would come up or whoever would come up with. So but essentially, we prefer it that way because they would make about 30-40%, 50% of the structure, and then we put in and complete the 100%. But for that also, as much we might be sitting at home and doing it on computers and whatever, but we still have to have that band energy, 6 people sitting together. So we still do it the old way.
But Nitin, considering that you're a rather solitary figure nowadays, this dichotomy between the community of the band and ruminating on your own and making your music by yourself and all of that, is that a little difficult to reconcile?
Can you repeat the sentence with less complex words that you just used?
Alone and band, is there a difference between how you spend your life and how you spend your life as a rock star?
No, not really.
No?
I don't spend my life as a rock star at all.
Bilkul.
Not at all.
Considering I know quite a bit.
No, that was what you knew 15-20 years back. I'm talking about the present. So it's pretty much how I am in real life, and that's how I tend to be all the time. And there's no rock star in any of us, and I don't think there's ever been, honestly. What you think you saw as a rock star part of me was actually how I was in real life. I was such an idiot.
I tell you, realization is a great thing, and as they say, self-realization is the first step to eternal joy, and I think that's a giant leap, Nitin.
Happiness. I have happiness right here, sitting next to me.
Talking of happiness, yes, Abhishek Mittal coming in and.
All right.
Okay. I have a very serious question for you. Sonam Sherpa used to be where you stand now, and that's a very, very big space to fill, right? Was it a little intimidating in the? I know that they're the nicest of guys. I'm sure that there would have probably been no pressure from the band, but there's also a pressure of expectation that happens as well. Did you feel that?
I mean, I felt initially before meeting the band, but then when I started gigging with them and getting to know them personally, I found that it's not like that big image of Parikrama. Once you get into the band, it's like it's like brotherhood.
Subir bhai is pointing a gun at you, so remember, with his fingers though, of course, which might mean many things, but yeah. बहुत अच्छा बोल रहा था. Carry on. What else? So Parikrama did not seem as big as it did. So you're saying that it's a small band?
No. What I'm saying is, basically when I started writing music and when I started like touring with them, I just like figured and felt that these are like the nicest of guys that I could like be open to, and don't have to be like create that pressure of expectation. Just rather, like flow.
Oh, so nice. He's such a nice boy, na Subir bhai?
So can I say something in
yes,
support of what, or complete his answer? I think he's gotten a little nervous here. See, what happens is when you lose somebody in the band, or somebody leaves the band or whatever, for whatever reason, and so there is no way that that person can, let me put it the right word, replaced.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. So
Absolutely.
it's not about filling the shoes so much as a person coming in like Mittal and creating a new sound and a new space for himself, which was so agreeable with all
Bringing
of us, and we just had such a great time.
Absolutely.
And Sonam's place will never be filled up. Because as a person, you will never find Sonam again, right?
But then there's an Abhishek who'll always be smiling.
So he, with his music and everything, he's just such a talented little bugger.
My God.
And he fills up places in terms of musically. He adds so much to the creative process.
I'll give you the recording. Nitin Malik saying nice things about Mittal. That's a very big thing.
Yeah. So because I used to sit and compose with Sonam, write songs,
of course.
and now I do that with him.
Wow.
And of course, this is a slight difference because he's not Sonam and Sonam is not Mittal, right?
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
But there is a certain level of comfort that I felt even then, and I feel even now with two probably totally contrasting individuals.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
But like I said, you do not ever replace anybody.
Yeah.
That is just a very wrong word.
And his musicality, of course, is there for all to see. He's a brilliant young talent, and for you to have spotted him and gotten him into Parikrama is absolutely incredible. Which means that there's now time for the next song, and it's a piece actually. It's Open Skies that you have lined up. Yes,
Absolutely.
here we go. absolutely incredible Subir Malik, Nitin Malik, the wonderful Abhishek Mittal, the legendary Mr. Chaudhary, Saurabh Chaudhary is here. There's also Gaurav Balani on the bass. I've seen the original lineup, and there's
Sohail on the violin.
And Sohail on the violin as well, of course, who's played that incredible Open Skies. You heard the violin? That's Sohail, actually. But Subir bhai, Parikrama was not initially known for lineup changes. I mean, stuck together. There were lots of fights, of course. Considering Dilip Ramachandran's temper, it was also incredible that you stayed together. But then, of course, directions changed, etc., etc. It'd be lovely to know how you see Parikrama from the time in those dusty lanes of Delhi University to now sitting in a studio with a new song out called Translucent Night. By the way, you should check it out. It's great. How do you see the journey?
It's been incredible, yeah. I mean, I think Sarthak, whoever says that it's been 32 years and it's such a long time and all, see, the only thing that comes to, I think the best answer to that is, frankly, I'm telling you, it doesn't feel like 32 years at all.
Subir bhai, there's also one thing, you've endured so much. I mean, people say, Parikrama, bakwas, kuda, only covers, they don't even have creativity, they just keep, reflecting. You powered on. You said, I will play. I remember this interview when I had asked you this earlier, right? You said, we all got together because we wanted to play a kind of music that we really loved, and we're still loving the music. And Nitin got very, very angry actually when I asked. But you had this very zen-like attitude that it's okay, and it seems to have paid off because 32 years and you're still here, and a lot of the people who are asking those questions have sort of fallen by the wayside. Does it feel gratifying a little?
Not lot, all.
Rock and roll, baby.
I read this line recently that. Like that is an old one. If you got people hating you, you're doing something right. I don't think that's even true anymore. People can hate you because you're an idiot also.
It's true.
But what I read recently was that when you count your haters, most of them people are the ones who are below you. You'll not have somebody above you in what you're doing who's going to hate you. There's always going to be encouragement and say, "Come on, man, let's do this." So those, I think it's sour grapes or whatever you want to call it, man.
Balani, you've been the, Mittal we'll talk to later. But Gaurav, you've sort of again taken up a space which was, again, not saying replaced, but taken up a space where one of the performers in the band, one of the people who people used to watch, and he was, when he would do Roadhouse Blues, that's what people used to scream about, Chintan Kalra on the bass. You've actually brought your own very nuanced bit to the band. What has your journey been from? I'm sure we've all grown up with Parikrama as one of the totems, for indie rock, and now being part of it. What's your idea been like that?
I mean, it was nothing short of a dream. We've spoken about this multiple times, on and off air. So yeah, getting the call to, play with a band that, again, as you said, grown up watching, it was again, nothing short of a dream.
Who called you?
Sir, of course.
Who called you?
Actually, I forced myself in, I orchestrated this thing.
Standing outside his door, throwing little pebbles, Subir bhai.
I mean, it's quite funny though, because the first show I imagined so many things in my head. It happened to be a web cert. This was pre-COVID, so web certs were unheard of.
Okay.
I didn't really get that vibe. Obviously, the music I was playing was music I've seen from the other side of the stage.
Of course.
And the next show was this Bangalore show at Cry, the amphitheater, UB City. The Roar, the first song, when that hit me, I'm like, okay. I felt like I've arrived. So
my first ever show actually that I'd done as a producer was with Parikrama, and I still remember Ames Pulse, and it hits you like a punch in the gut when people roar for Parikrama, and that's a very addictive feeling, no? Subir bhai, it's very addictive, isn't it?
See, it's great fun, and of course, especially when you're starting a show, and if you get that kind of thing, even when your name is announced, it's enough to pump you. Whatever you may say, even you must have done 3,000 shows or 30 shows or 5,000 shows, you still get that little thing before you go on stage, little butterfly. And when they announce and you just come on stage and you have that acceptance.
Absolutely.
It still pumps us up too much.
And then Parikrama launches into rhythm and blues, and everyone goes berserk, which is what we're going to do now. Yes, rhythm and blues.
Of course.
Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4.
corner of the blues town. Band was loud and the music louder. Wasn't a soul around. He said, "Thought you played the blues if you had the rhythm. Forgot one thing, you gotta take it all night long.
Your rhythm don't fall. Your rhythm don't fall.
Your rhythm don't flow, your rhythm don't blend. Your rhythm only sounds like a one-night stand." I've seen you once since I went for a stroll to some period blues bar. I met this girl with a pink guitar, and this is what I told her, baby, in the happy hour. Thought you played the blues if you had the rhythm. Forgot one thing, you gotta play it all night long.
Your rhythm don't fall. Your rhythm don't fall.
Your rhythm don't flow, your rhythm don't blend. Your rhythm only sounds like a one-night stand. Took the time for me to figure it out, what the dude was all about. He said, "Will you teach me to play blues guitar?" And I think I said aloud, "Thought you played the blues if you had the rhythm. Forgot one thing, you gotta play it all night long."
Your rhythm don't fall. Your rhythm don't fall.
Your rhythm don't flow, your rhythm don't bend. Your rhythm only sounds like a one-night stand.
Old father time. We'd love to keep chatting. We'd love to keep asking questions because there's so many of them. But is there ever enough time? But thank you so much, Parikrama.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Subir Malik,
you.
Nitin Malik, Saurabh Chaudhary, Abhishek Vittal, Gaurav Bulani, Sohail, of course, and Srijan on the drums, who's silent right now. but for all the incredible music and most importantly for all those incredible memories that you have blessed us with, we'd like to bless you with more health, more joy, and more rock and roll.
Thank you so much.
So much, man.
And
Thank you.
as we say, now, when the new thing is that this is just the beginning. Watch out, lots more to come.
Absolutely. Remember, Parikrama, roar! Taking a short little break, coming right back. So stay, won't you?